So Pro Skaters Place has been an amazing sponsor for me as far as equipment and energy expended on videos to help me. Every time I've asked them to be there for one reason or another, they have been there. And it was no different when it came to the drone. They had a guy at Pro Skaters Place who worked for them, and they had a drone, and they sent him over to film me in the hopes that I could put some of this drone footage into my pieces in the future. I was planning on staggering this beautiful drone footage for a long period of time, maybe over 6 or 7 weeks, placing it into the intros and the outros. But when Tom came over and I looked at his drone footage that we got, maybe only 1 hour worth of flying, I was hooked. I could not imagine myself without a drone, and I couldn't wait until the next drone shoot. So I went out and got the DJI Phantom Standard 3, or 3 Standard. Looking for short questions. That's generally what I do. If I'm scrolling through, I'm looking for the shortest question. Oh, here's a comment. Those are some really nice, beautiful time-lapse sunset takes. Nice work. Greg Freemar. Thank you, Greg. As you can see, I've got access to some good sunset shots, but this drone thing is going up the level. I think I've saturated every single angle here, though sometimes you get some pretty crazy patterns, so I don't think it's ever going to be exactly the same when I point my camera out here, but the time-lapse thing will be there for a long time. I love the way it captures the dispersion and the accumulation of the clouds. I don't think that's a meteorological term, but yeah, thank you very much, Greg. Devonte Davis says, I would like Bill if he replied to some of our questions. I'm not going to reply to that. XWineX asks, hey, how much do you weigh? None of your business. Mootopia. Nice video. Greetings from Spain. Thank you, Spain. I love Spain. Blue Goes Faster asks, what's the fastest speed you would still do a power stop / slide at? Generally, I do a lot of slowing down with that drag before I hit the power stop. It's really only in an emergency or when I'm really pissed off that I slam into a power stop, so I have no idea. Probably less than 20 Ks. We've got Michael Tekrib, who asks, Bill, what are the disadvantages of using a pair of cheap skates from Canadian Tire? I would say the cheap skate thing generally comes down to a frame that's plastic and doesn't really have good power transfer. Maybe the boot doesn't have a lot of padding in it, so it becomes uncomfortable. Or perhaps the pieces of the shell and the cuff and the buckles rattle too much and it messes with your flow. But cheap skates are often fine, so long as they don't have that plastic frame. I've had a lot of cheap skates, I've had some expensive skates, and sometimes there's not a huge difference in performance. Sometimes it comes down to comfort. The Cool One asks, I'm confused. These look like parallel / hockey slides to me. Aren't power slides with the rear leg pointing rearward at the finish? To me, a power stop, a parallel slide, and a power slide are the same thing. It's just a matter of how much slide are you getting. I aim to get as little slide as possible, to be honest, so I call mine power stops. I've purposely pruned the word power slide out of my vocabulary. I think when you stop in that T position where your back leg is behind you and your front leg is facing forward, it creates more of a T. So I don't think it deserves the name power stop because I don't think it's very powerful. It's a wide footprint. It's not quite a power stop or a power slide. It's not a power anything. It's a good start.